We're just repeating that the registration for the Test and Go scheme is suspended indefinitely.
Hello and welcome back to Living Abroad. In today's video, I'm going to give you the latest update about the Thailand Pass and what just happened at the CCSA meeting. We'll talk about people here in Thailand resorting to eating crocodile meat because of the soaring prices in pork, as well as a prominent hospitality group calling on Thai government to reopen Test and Go, and much more. My name is Alex, and you can live through me. Let's begin with people eating crocodile meat. So there are a couple crocodile farms near Bangkok that have been reporting increase in interest and demand for crocodile meat since it's high in protein and it's good for your health apparently, because you know, a couple days ago I mentioned about African swine flu being here in Thailand, so that's gonna really obviously damage the population in pork and pigs, so people are resorting to eating crocodile meat. Kind of interesting. Let me know if you've ever tried crocodile meat. I'm really interested to know what it tastes like. I've never tried. I don't know if I will, but that's one piece of news. Moving on to Minor Internationals. Now they are a prominent hospitality group and they have over 500 properties. The company chairman issued an open letter to Prayut Chan-o-cha, the Prime Minister, asking him to remove alcohol restrictions and closing times, as well as to bring back the Test and Go, because he doesn't feel like it's doing any good, and that the fact that Omicron is already in Thailand and it's only going to harm the economy of Thailand. So I don't know how much swing or sway or pull they have in the game, but that's kind of a good news. People want the Test and Go to come back, so hopefully it'll happen before mid-year, as I reported yesterday. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll leave the link below so you guys can read the full article, and I would love to know whether you think that's going to make any change to the government's policy about Test and Go. Next piece of news is the latest about the Thailand Pass. So in today's meeting, the spokesperson clarified that whoever is holding a Thai Pass and got it before December 22nd can still come here regardless of the date that's on there. So whether it's January 29th, February 2nd, as of right now, you're still able to come to the country by just using that simple Thai Pass. Also, he mentioned that some people are going ahead and asking people to pay for the Thai Pass application. Now, yeah, just be sure that you don't pay anybody any money for the Thai Pass application itself. It's a free application. There's no processing fee or application fee or anything like that. So don't forget that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly what he said at the meeting. But before I do that, if you guys are finding this video informative, enjoyable, or just want to show your support for me and the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Now let's have a listen.
So I'd just like to reiterate once again about Thailand Pass on one important issue, that there is no registration fee for Thailand Pass. Because there had been reports of people who had been asked illegally to pay registration fees when they had asked agencies or other people to register on the Thailand Pass on their behalf. We wish to affirm that there is no registration fee for Thailand Pass. It is a service rendered free of charge for those wishing to enter Thailand. So if there is any agent or middleman or any sort of entity offering that, it bears repeating that the registration for the Test and Go scheme is suspended indefinitely for new registrations. So those with duly approved QR codes prior under the scheme may still enter the country as per the approved schedule. Those wishing to enter the country now would have to register to enter through the sandbox scheme only or the alternative quarantine scheme only. And for those coming into the alternative quarantine scheme, the quarantine period reduced from 7 days for fully vaccinated persons and 10 days for vaccinated persons had been reduced to 7 days for fully vaccinated persons. And for unvaccinated persons, it is 10 days. Repeating, therefore, of the importance of vaccination for the fight against COVID. So each and every one of us should get vaccinated as soon as possible when called upon to do so and when you have the opportunity. In closing, before closing, I'd just like to mention that Dr. Apisamai mentioned about there was a query about Pfizer, about RT-PCR, whether it's required or not before arriving or coming to Thailand for Thai nationals and foreign nationals. And there's an infographic there. I'll just explain it briefly, that it is required. There was some question some doubt whether the regulation required it or not. And just to confirm that it is required, RT-PCR required 72 hours before arriving into the country. So that's a requirement that is for people who are coming into Thailand through the sandbox and the alternative quarantine schemes. So just in closing, before we head out to the start of the weekend, remember that the fifth wave of COVID is still here with us.
And there you go. So you heard the man exactly what's going on with the Thai Pass situation and not to pay for any application fee. So just to clarify, there are two ways of coming into Thailand right now as a tourist. There's an alternative quarantine, which means that you have to quarantine for 7 or 10 days. So if you're vaccinated, you only have to quarantine for 7 days. If you're unvaccinated, 10 days. After those days, you can go ahead and travel around Thailand. And also, of course, the sandbox programs, which means you can travel to specific locations like Phuket, Krabi, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, and you have to quarantine for 1 night. If your test comes back negative, you can go ahead and roam around that specific area for 7 days. After that time, you can go ahead and go somewhere else. So let me show you the infographic here that explains everything. Feel free to pause it and read it if you like. I would love to know your thoughts. Let me know which one of these stories kind of resonated with you. Which one are you most excited about? Have you tried crocodile meat before? Because I know I haven't. Or let me know which is like the most exotic thing you ever ate. Because, you know, in Thailand, there's so many exotic foods. And you guys can go ahead and watch my other videos about Thailand and travel. And this Saturday, tomorrow, I'm going to go to a nearby city called Ayatua. I don't even know what it's called, but apparently it's a beautiful place with temples, and it's something that you have to see if you come to Thailand. So check out that video on Sunday. I'm excited to share that with you guys. And that's the latest about Thailand. So if you guys have any comments, questions, any suggestions for videos and content, don't be shy, leave them down below. I talk to many of you guys on a regular basis, so I feel really connected to some of you guys. And if I can't read your comment for some reason, it's not because of me. Sometimes when I click on a comment, it says no longer available. I don't know if you guys are deleting it or something, but yeah, that's it. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh no, you saw me on YouTube? Are you my first ever YouTube person? Hey guys, check it out. You're actually live now, so if you want to say hello, yeah.
I watched the YouTube videos. It's very informative.
Oh, thank you. Where are you guys from?
Australia.
Australia, nice.
Yeah.
Wow, I never thought this day would come, you know. I met my first YouTube person I recognized.
I saw the one where you're like, here's the bathroom. You got like a free room.
Oh yeah, that in Turkey, right?
Yeah, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I think that's that guy. And he's like, no. I'm